Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And if anybody decides they want to support the channel, I do have a Cash App at $Trevor Donald 20. That's $TREVOR DONALD 20. And any support you can give, I really would appreciate it. I try to bring you up-to-date commentaries, sometimes true crime stories, and just elements and things that are taking place throughout our country and our world, and to help us navigate our way through this crazy, beautiful world that we live in, and the utility of utilizing our five senses to navigate our way through to power, strength, redemption, and to our spiritual being and uplift. We got to talk about Caitlin Clark. You talking about lightning in a bottle. I want to give two people a shout out that have changed the entire landscape of college sports in 2023 up to today in 2024. And give some comparisons to these two people and some contrast. And one is Caitlin Clark, and the other one is primetime Deion Sanders. And let's take the similarities. Deion Sanders went from an HBCU at Jackson State, which was Jackson, Mississippi, is 87% black. Goes on to the University of Colorado in Boulder, which is 98% white, and galvanized and changed the entire culture for the University of Colorado. Sold out arenas, brought tons of attention in marketing, and put tons of butts in seats. Sold out stadium games each and every Saturday, and he even has a different look from the stereotypical college football coach, normally being an older, over 50 white male, historically speaking, and then you see this black guy, gold chain, sunglasses, hat, but you can't disrespect his resume. Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer as a cornerback, played over 10 years in Major League Baseball, one of the few guys ever to play two professional sports. Was involved in the World Series and won at least 3 Super Bowls. But let's go back to Caitlin Clark. You know, yesterday she just broke Pete Maravich's all-time scoring record in college basketball. And remember, about a month ago, she broke Kelsey Plum's record for the all-time points leader over a career in Division I women's basketball. So she's been breaking records back to back to back, female and male records. And she's at the University of Iowa, which is 95% white, right there in middle America. Very similar to the University of Colorado. They have never been really a national powerhouse in basketball or football. Colorado had a few years where they were really, really good, and I think they may even won a national championship maybe 25 years ago or so. But the University of Iowa, I'm not familiar that they ever did. But you have very similar scenarios with the University of Colorado at Boulder and the University of Iowa. And then you got two individuals, a young white female who has completely changed the landscape of college women's basketball, sold out arenas just like primetime at the University of Colorado. I think it's healthy and great that she's not a black female. You know, the stereotype of many of the athletes today in college and professional sports that are dominant have been African American. And to have this white girl or Caucasian woman who is dominating at an accelerated rate, she reminds me of the Venus and Serena Williams of college women's basketball. And she has sold out every place that they've played, home and away. Same thing has happened in Colorado. Deion Sanders and Caitlin Clark have completely disrupted the conservative culture and the long history and standing of what a college football coach should look like and what a college athlete should look like that's dominating in football or basketball. And Caitlin Clark is the number one college basketball player in the country, male or female. Look at attendance, look at what she's doing on the court. 30 points a game. She's almost averaging a triple double, 7-8 rebounds, 7-8 assists a game, and she's been consistent. The closest thing I've never seen a woman in college basketball singularly do the things that she's doing. And I think it's beautiful that she's from Des Moines, Iowa, and she stayed home. She didn't go to UConn, Tennessee, South Carolina. She stayed right at home. And if the old montage, the cream will rise to the top no matter where you are. Michael Jackson was from Gary, Indiana. Prince was from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Two very small cities, and they rocked the world in music. And you're seeing this with Caitlin Clark. She's lightning in the bottle, and she was going to show out no matter where she went to school. Primetime Deion Sanders was the same way from high school, college, and into the pros. So young folks don't have to think that you have to be from Chicago, Florida, California, New York, Atlanta to become the measuring stick of excellence and superior athletic work and or academic work. Caitlin just broke Pete Maravich's record, and she reminds me of Chris Jackson back in 1988 through 90 at LSU, where he just destroyed college basketball. He was from Gulfport, Mississippi. Look at the similarities. Small towns and putting in work. And he averaged 30.2 points a game as a freshman. He has the all-time freshman scoring record in Division I college basketball. Pete Maravich and Kareem are not in there because back then you couldn't play as a freshman, if you remember. So Chris Jackson has the record. Kevin Durant was 2 or 3 points away from breaking it when he did 1 year at the University of Texas Longhorns. Just to give you a little backstory. But Caitlin, since her freshman year, she's averaged 27 points, 28, 30, consistent each and every year. And she's put not only her basketball team, she's put the entire university and the city on her back. Deion Sanders, the amount of money Deion Sanders has influxed over $500 million to the city of Boulder, like no other. Probably $1 billion to the state of Colorado. All the eyeballs are on this African-American man that's a coach, and he knows how to market. Think about it. Tourism is going up. Ticket sales for football, ticket sales for basketball, just his presence in that city, restaurants, hotels, everything is going to go up. More people are going to visit Boulder just so they can get a look and a lens at Coach Primetime if they see him walking around. Enrollment is going to go through the roof, even for people of color. That landscape will change it from it being 97% all white and to 90%, 85%. You'll see more minorities going to the University of Colorado, which is great. America is a melting pot of a society, and our universities need to look the same. Caitlin Clark, even though she's a white female, there are going to be more black little girls that are going to want to play like Caitlin Clark. And as I said, she reminds me of Chris Jackson, who became Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf when he joined the NBA. She reminds me of Chris Jackson in college. But of course, Caitlin reminds you of Steph Curry today. And the same way little white boys and little black boys look up to Steph Curry, little white girls and little black girls will look up to Caitlin Clark. The NIL money, the marketing, all the things that she is going to bring to the table, which will resonate with other players. The WNBA players have been complaining about their salaries. about their fan base, about attendance for years, even though it's partially grouped and financed with the NBA. And people look at it as a second tier uh, league, and it's not. The great basketball, if I tell young kids, male kids, all the time, if you want to see great fundamental basketball, watch college women's basketball, watch the WNBA, not the NBA. Shooting threes, being 6'10", 6'9", and not being fundamentally sound, which is what you see in the NBA. I think that product is suffering today. It looks like a pickup game, and nobody's really interested in the NBA during the regular season. Their viewership is down over 50% in the last 10 years. They're in trouble a little bit more to me than the WNBA. They don't need to lower the goals. People criticize the WNBA and say they don't get the fan base because there's not enough dunking. That's not true. Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Steph Curry, Allen Iverson had put the NBA on their backs, put butts in the seats, and they were not great dunkers. You can dunk a basketball and all you get is 2 points. Steph Curry showed you that shooting a 25 or 30-foot shot is just as fascinating as a Michael Jordan dunk. These people have changed the game. And Caitlin Clark has not only changed the game, but she has changed college basketball, and she is going to change the WNBA in a great way if she can stay away from injuries. She's going to the WNBA, the draft, and if she gets with the right team that supports her, and if she displays any of the kind of ability and finesse that she has done in college and translates that to the WNBA, she is going to pack stadiums all throughout the country. The price for tickets will go up, just like in college. In the WNBA, there won't be empty seats. People are going to want to come see this one individual. And if you think about it, that's what it takes sometimes in the world. Another comparison to Caitlin Clark and her effect. Tiger Woods in 1997 changed the entire landscape of golf. It's one African American kid. And the viewership, the money, even players like Phil Mickelson and the rest of the guys that were in his era, even though they might have been jealous and upset about it and couldn't beat him, but their income went through the roof. There's not only going to be a pay increase for Caitlin Clark, but it's going to be a pay increase for many of the players in the WNBA that end up doing well. Just think about when she gets there and somebody scores 40 on her and she scores 22. Well, that shines a light on that new player that people haven't looked at. Her effect and affect and her presence entering the WNBA is going to send the marketing dollars through the roof. Contracts will increase. The teams will make more money. More people will watch the game and attend and support it. There are going to be so many Caitlin Clark WNBA jerseys that little boys and little girls are going to be wearing. It is going to be unbelievable. And it's no different. The NBA was in fiscal trouble in the late 70s. And then two guys came along, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And you needed that. White great player, black great player. And then who took that baton and elevated all the way through the roof? Michael Jordan. And now you have Tiger Woods did it in golf. Venus and Serena did it in tennis. To continuously have a monolithic looking presence in sports is not always good. And I think with Caitlin being a white female, mind you, the sport of basketball has been dominated by black males and females over the last 50 years. It is nice to see a middle America young lady who can galvanize and bring everybody together. I think if she was black, it would be expected. The unexpected is what shocks the consciousness of America and the world, and it also brings your eyeballs straight to the television and to the social media and national media spotlight. Caitlin Clark is doing all of that. Deion Sanders has done it. Doesn't look like the old 55-year-old white head football coach of a Division I school. He looks different. He sounds different. He's going to bring in a certain athlete because of his presence. Kids are going to go to school to the University of Colorado because of Deion. No different than when I grew up and people went to the University of Indiana basketball for Bobby Knight. I went to North Carolina for Dean Smith, or the University of Kansas for Larry Brown, or the University of Louisville for Denny Crum. That has been going on forever. Kids don't always go for the school; they go for the coach. And Deion is bringing a welcoming web to where he's letting these kids know you're not only going to be a great football player, but you're going to be a great human being. And he wants to manifest and nurture just as many NFL prospects and players as CEOs, general managers, police chiefs, doctors, and lawyers to be part of his team and to graduate from the University of Colorado. We need more positive people in the world today. This has been a very chaotic and disruptive universe that we're living in right now. Too much gun violence, the opioid crisis, mental health issues that are going through the roof. And sports is a nice opportunity to live in a fantasy and not think about your problems. And we need people who can galvanize and draw the attention to something that's fun to look at, see, and enjoy. And Caitlin Clark represents. She is the Tiger Woods, the Michael Jordan, the Serena Williams, Venus Williams of women's college basketball. And the sky is limitless for what she can do in the WNBA. I pray that she does not get hurt. As I said, the college women's basketball has several great players. And it's amazing how she has I've never seen a player, especially a woman, that has taken over an entire industry. South Carolina is number one in the nation. They're 28-0, and nobody is talking about Dawn Staley's team. Everybody is talking about the University of Iowa and Caitlin Clark. Nobody talked about Alabama, Florida, Michigan a little bit. Everybody talked about the University of Colorado and Coach Primetime Deion Sanders. But the difference between Caitlin Clark and Deion is that Deion can pontificate and extrapolate what he wants on that field and what they're going to do, but he's not playing anymore. So people can watch him up and down the sidelines, but people are coming to watch Caitlin Clark put on a show and perform. And you have these dualities and these dichotomies with Caitlin and Deion. Deion's an older African-American man. Caitlin's a young Caucasian female from middle America. So you got a young white girl, older black guy. Both have been in sports and have dominated. Other similarities, University of Iowa is very similar to University of Colorado in Boulder, not that far away. Their dominance and their presence, how they changed the game, how all the eyeballs and the spotlights are on both of them, Coach Primetime and Caitlin, even though Caitlin can control the variable a little bit better because she is playing the game. Deion is just coaching it, and the kids have to go out and perform. So he doesn't have the control variables like a Caitlin Clark. But both of them, I think in the last 50 years, I haven't seen two individuals completely change the entire landscape and narrative of college sports. This NIL has been an interesting saga, but you cannot tell me, not Randy Moss, not Michael Jordan coming into college, the things that Caitlin Clark has done in 4 years as a female basketball player. You don't hear anybody talk. Who is the top 5 male college basketball players in the country today? Nobody's talking about it. I've never seen a woman dominate a sport that's been dominated on the male and female side, singularly. Maybe Serena Williams in her 7 or 8 year span, where they maybe talked about her more than they did the male tennis players, possibly, but I've never seen a singular woman dominate an entire industry like Caitlin Clark has. It is amazing and phenomenal. And then she, like I said, she broke Kelsey Plum's record. She broke Pete Maravich's record. The NCAA tournament is going to be fascinating to watch her play. All the eyeballs. I think that this will be the first time historically that the women's college basketball viewership might outpace the men's college basketball viewership in March Madness. Remember me saying that. Caitlin Clark has turned into her own industry, like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods changed golf forever. He put money in everybody's pocket. Caitlin is going to do that for the WNBA. They should support it. There's definitely going to be jealousy and deceit there to a certain degree. But if those women in the WNBA play their cards right, and I'm not saying let her get away with anything, but if they jump on that horse and piggyback off of Caitlin Clark's prestige, her marketing ability, and if she does anything close to what she did in college in the WNBA, the pay will go up. The marketing dollars, the sponsorships will definitely go up. And if she can do that for 10 or 11 years in the WNBA, that it will change the game forever. And then you're going to see more skilled athletes come about. Look at what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird did for the NBA, and then Michael Jordan. Caitlin Clark can singularly do that herself to the WNBA. Same way Tiger Woods did to golf. Golf was boring. It was just a white guy sport. You didn't have many minorities watching golf. Tiger Woods, no matter how you feel about him personally, changed the entire atmosphere and chemistry for the PGA. It is unquestionable. Michael Jackson changed music. Prince changed music. Bob Marley. You have these individuals that have plopped down on this earth to shake up the chasm and the axiom of life. And Caitlin Clark is that. And I think we should support her. No different than Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan. We need these great human beings, even if they're excelling in sports and they're great people, to be our measuring stick and to be our individuals that these young kids can look up to. She's getting her degree. She stays out of trouble. Primetime is showing himself as a father figure to all of these players. He's showing a different measuring stick himself at the University of Colorado, and he's shaking up and disrupting the old way of doing business, and there's a new way. We have to continually evolve and not live in a monolithic society or way of thinking, or the way we look is polylithic. It's a melting pot, and college sports has never been shaken up like it has in 2023, 2024 from Coach Primetime Deion Sanders, and then from the University of Iowa, Caitlin Clark. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.